Facebook friends. This is Paul Wallin, Wallin Klarich. Today I was lucky and I got to wear a suit and I had to go to court, but I saved our client from going to jail, so it was worth putting on a suit, which is not my favorite thing to do. Today we're going to talk about something of extreme importance if you live in a house or an apartment or a boat or a car. It's your right to be free from unlawful searches and seizures by the police. So many people have no idea what their rights are. Most people, when they see a policeman come to their house, they do one thing. They freak out. They think, what did I do wrong? Or they might know they did something wrong legally, but they still freak out because they think the cops are going to come into their house. And in fact, the cops are likely there to come in their house. So today, I'm going to tell you guys when you have to let the cops into your house and when you can politely say, please leave my property, officer. Of course, if you say, please leave my house, officer, he's not going to be happy with you. But if he's a real police officer who believes in justice, he will nonetheless leave your property. So the first thing I want to tell you is the Fourth Amendment to the United States Constitution gives you an absolute right to refuse to let the police in your house, to search your house, unless they have a search warrant. A search warrant must be signed by a judge. It is a document that says the court believes there may be some evidence of a crime in your house. If you are not served with a search warrant, you do not have to let the officer in your home. And if he was to enter your home, unless he could prove that the circumstances were exigent, which means it was an emergency, the search would be likely found to be illegal, and the officer could be sued civilly for damages for entering your house illegally. So that's pretty simple to understand. Warrant that has your name on it, you have to be given the warrant, you have to see, are they searching your car? Are they searching your house? What does the warrant allow them to search? Sometimes an officer will have a warrant to search your house, but that doesn't say your car. So if he tries to search your car, you can say no. And then it would be up to a judge later to whether they would suppress the evidence. So why is it important to exercise your Fourth Amendment rights? And that is because in most people's homes, there are things that they would rather not the police see. It might not be illegal. It might be adult pornography. It might be anything that you just don't want a police officer to see because you have the right to privacy in your home. That has been something that was established in 1776. That's a long time. I wasn't even born then. That is why I know that the history of our country and the United States Supreme Court, for this entire time we've been a country, has upheld a critical right to be free from unlawful searches and seizures. A question comes up often, which is, what happens if I'm not home and my wife is home or my son is home? Can they give permission to search? The answer is, if it's your wife, yes. If your wife lives with you in that house and is a co-tenant or a co-owner, they can give the right to search. But one of the most tricky things that happens is roommates that they want to search an apartment and there's 3 bedrooms and 3 guys have 1 room each. Can one of the 3 give permission to search the entire place? The answer is no. That means that if the officer went into your room and you didn't give permission, that evidence would likely be suppressed. So it's important to tell your family members what I am telling you now. Do not give permission to search. Now, if they have a valid search warrant and they search your home, they also have the obligation to leave you with a list of what they took. And that's critical you keep it, because later on, those items might be lost, and you're going to want those items back. And you have the right to get them back in most cases. So make sure you keep that list. If police officers come to your home without a search warrant, and they say, well, we're just going to have to stay here until we get the search warrant, you know what you say? Be my guest, officer. And the officer has to sit on the porch or sit in his car because there's no guarantee that a judge is going to grant the search warrant. So don't be fooled and think, well, I might as well let them search because they're going to get a search warrant anyway. No. Let the judge decide if there's really enough evidence for a search warrant to be issued. So those are very, very important things to remember about the whole issue of search warrants. But I wanted to talk a little bit about your car, because it used to be okay for officers to search your car if they smelled marijuana in it, which was a common occurrence in California. Now things are changing. Since marijuana is now legal, it is very hard for officers to get a search warrant based on a smell of marijuana. So don't be fooled and think the officers can get a search warrant because they smelled marijuana. So if the officer stops you and you say, I don't want you to search my car, you do not have permission, they likely will be violating the law if they go in your car because they smelled marijuana. And if, God forbid, they find a gun or they find some evidence of a crime, your lawyer, especially if it's our law firm, will make a motion to suppress the evidence, which could end the case against you. So, as we have said for many, many years, our goal is to educate our clients and the public about what their legal rights are, because someone that has legal knowledge of their rights has power, and someone who does not have knowledge of their legal rights is weak and makes mistakes and often ends up being prosecuted and sometimes being convicted. So come back next week. We'll be talking to another topic, but this topic is extremely important to your freedom. Everyone have a great week.